everyone for coming out on short notice on this cold January day. We come together after months of U.S. aggression in the Caribbean, where the U.S. has killed over 100 people, claiming that this is to protect us from narco-terrorism with no evidence to prove so. And just last night, they carried out airstrikes in Caracas, Venezuela, and they claim that that's for us. Do you believe that? No! They claim that these strikes, that every bomb dropped in Venezuela or around the world is to protect us. They spend billions of dollars on bombs as people in our city are unhoused, as people in our city are hungry. Shame! People will correctly point to the parallels between this and the Iraq War, saying that this is a war based entirely on lies. But even George Bush then had to go through Congress, went to the UN. Trump and the ruling class today aren't even doing that. It is blatantly illegal. These are war crimes that they're committing. Shame. They'll claim that this is for the people of Venezuela, but in the same breath, Trump will say, and this is a quote, that we are going to run this country. We are going to start making money from the oil. This is blatantly a cash grab. This is for the oil of the people of Venezuela, no matter what they say. Shame! People will focus on so-called democracy in Venezuela. They'll say, listen to the people of Venezuela. But we here in the U.S. actually have a stake in this too. That is our money. That is the money from us, the taxpayers in the U.S., that is paying for every single bomb dropped, for every boat station in the Caribbean. All of that money could be going to the people's needs instead of war. So it is our place to speak on this. It is our responsibility to speak on this. And before I bring up some of our speakers, because we have an amazing lineup of speakers, many organizations came together on less than a few hours' notice to come together to stand against this. That's right, we can make some noise for all the organizations. I want to close my opening speech just with some thoughts on where we are now. Because usually when the U.S. empire is waging all of these strikes, they're doing this out of a place of desperation. And this is not the first time the U.S. has tried this around the world. It's also not the first time the U.S. has tried this in Venezuela. Kidnapping the president, a head of state, a clear war crime, was tried by the U.S. in 2002. They kidnapped Hugo Chavez. He was back in the presidential palace within 48 hours. Venezuela knows how to defeat an attack like this. And we will stand with them every step of the way to say that this war, that every bomb dropped, is not for us. This is for Trump and the billionaires, and we are here to stand against that and say that Baltimore stands with the people of Venezuela, that we are against war. So I'd like to welcome up as our first speaker for today from the People's Power Assembly, an organization that has stood against imperialism for over a decade in Baltimore. Please show some love for Carrington.
Afternoon, comrades. It'll be me and my comrade Jess here. So I'm Carrington.
And I'm Jess. The U.S. bombing of Venezuela and kidnapping of President Maduro is not only a violation of Venezuela's sovereignty, it is an attack and threat to all oppressed and working class people around the world. That's right. Here in the belly of the beast, and specifically here in Baltimore, people are struggling to keep food on the table, keep heat to stay warm, and keep their jobs to provide for themselves and their families. All while the drones produced at the old Bethlehem Steel location are sent to aid in the U.S. terror blockade of the entire Caribbean. Corporate politicians have made it clear time and time again that they will always have money for death machines and occupation, not for people's needs.
The violence carried out by the fascist pigs abroad is the same violence carried out by fascist pigs here in the U.S. Maduro and his family were kidnapped out of their land and thrown on a boat in chains. Is this not the same story of those who have been victim to brutal ICE raids? Is this not the same story of our black ancestors who were stolen from Africa for the sake of the overseers back in the U.S.? The fascist bombing of Caracas, the capital of the revolutionary government, is no different to the fascist bombing of Black Tulsa. Both were more than just cities. They were symbols of defiance against white supremacy. They were places where those who did the labor controlled their fate, and that very idea scares the U.S. empire. The violence is the exact same. Pigs over in the U.S. bomb Venezuela and leave them with no resources, while pigs here kill Arabers and leave West Baltimore with no resources. It is the same fight. It is the same pigs.
So we stand with the people of Venezuela who will not return to bondage and slavery for the sake of U.S. banks and oil companies. We stand with the global resistance to U.S. imperialism.
If we want to put an end to wars in the name of white supremacy and the pillaging of resources, we must pull the plug on the system designed to run on it. If we want our money to go to food, housing, education and transportation, healthcare, and other people's needs, we must not only reject imperialist war, but actively work to bring the whole machine down. Viva Venezuela, viva the Bolivarian Revolution, and viva international solidarity.
From an organization that has been at the forefront of the movement in Baltimore for multiple years at this point. So from the Black Alliance for Peace Baltimore, please make some noise for Devon.
Peace y'all, peace y'all. It's so great to see everyone here. I'll be reading a statement called A Call for Mass Struggle Against U.S.-Led War on Venezuela and the Caribbean. The U.S. empire, unable to accept the sovereignty, progress, and the moral example of the Bolivarian Revolution, is escalating its aggressive attacks against Venezuela. This is by no means an isolated struggle. What started as an aggression against Venezuela and the Bolivarian Revolution has already claimed several dozen lives of working-class people in the Caribbean and Pacific, extended to threats against Colombia and its president, been linked to the militarization of Ecuador and Panama, and remilitarized Puerto Rico. This is yet another front in the struggle against U.S. imperialism, and is interlocked with our movements for liberation in Haiti, Palestine, throughout our Americas, across the global South, and within the borders of the United States. It is the wider ongoing pattern of regional militarization and imperialist control that fundamentally violates the principles of a zone of peace, as a U.S. Southern Command, SOUTHCOM, has systematically transformed the Caribbean into a staging ground for its hegemonic projects. Puerto Rico, a colonial territory, is consistently used as a strategic site for the deployment and launch of military exercises, normalizing its status as a forward operating base, while nations like Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago are treated as subordinate puppet states that risk their own sovereignty to facilitate U.S. objectives. Simultaneously, Haiti has been cast as a laboratory for imperial policy, when accelerated militarization and occupation over the last 4 years has provided a blueprint for intervention. The racist and cynical designation of Haitian paramilitary armed groups as terrorists to be eradicated by U.S.-led occupation has done nothing to relieve impoverished, marginalized Haitians from the violence of these gangs, because they are a direct consequence of imperialism. And yet the excuse and label of terrorism has now been directly exported to the case of Venezuela. There, the U.S. Department of War cynically compares Caribbean people and fishing boats to Al-Qaeda, a transparent tactic to manufacture a pretext for full military invasion and attack. To oppose this militarization and violence and expel the nefarious forces of imperialist colonial violence from our region, we must be steadfast in guaranteeing our Americas as a zone of peace. This guarantee can only be built from the bottom up, through grassroots coordination and popular struggle that elevates and focuses on, highlights anti-imperialist national sovereignty. This is why the Popular Steering Committee for a Zone of Peace in Our Americas launched a U.S. NATO Out of Our Americas earlier this year, or last year. The U.S. NATO Out of Our Americas is a mass organizational structure of the Zone of Peace campaign designed to educate the public and strengthen an Americas-wide consciousness among the peoples of the region. This mobilization must fuel the concrete building of national coalitions against SOUTHCOM and local defense networks. learning from the powerful examples of Venezuela's communal militias and projects that embody popular democracy. The steadfastness of the Venezuelan people who have joined these militias by the millions to defend their homeland is not just an act of national resistance, it is a living proof that alternatives to imperial domination do exist. The U.S. empire seeks to destroy the Bolivarian revolution precisely because it shows we can fight for people-centered human rights and for a true, just, militant peace. In unwavering solidarity with the Venezuelan people, we therefore commit to continuing this fight, organizing in solidarity with their masses and popular movements across the Americas to defend sovereignty, dignity, and the right to forge a different future. Defend Venezuela's sovereignty, U.S. and NATO out of Americas, make our Americas a zone of peace, no compromise, no retreat.
Make some noise again for Devon from the Black Alliance for Peace. I'm so glad that he spoke on the Zone of Peace campaign, because those of us here need to be really clear about what peace means. Because peace will not just be the absence of bombs dropped on Caracas. Peace is not something that we know as long as our neighborhoods are occupied by the police. Peace means that everyone has housing. A year ago, over 2,000 people in our city were found to be unhoused. That's a shame. Peace means that every child has enough to eat, has a place to sleep, has a family who doesn't have to work 3 jobs to raise them, means that every child can make it to their school safe. That is what peace means to us. And a critical voice in the movement against war, the movement for peace, has always been veterans who stand against war. So our next speaker is going to bring that critical voice from Veterans for Peace. Please welcome Ellen.
Thank you so much, everyone, and this is a great crowd at extremely short notice. Friday night is when they do this kind of shit. And it is the exact anniversary of the invasion of Panama. Trump didn't invent imperialism. He's more blatant about it is all. But this is atrocious and outrageous, and it's great such a crowd came out. Veterans for Peace officially put out a statement against the assaults on Venezuela on the 18th of December. There's not one yet about this right now, but I will add to it. And I will not read the whole statement, it's long, but I will read some of it and then make some other comments. Veterans for Peace unequivocally rejects the Trump administration's escalating attacks and threats of war, I would actually say war now, declared or not, on Venezuela. The U.S. seizure of a Venezuelan oil tanker and Trump's unilateral declaration of a naval blockade and closure of its airspace constitute a brazen escalation of military aggression and a violation of both the U.S. Constitution and international law. The kidnapping of a national leader is mind-boggling, and I've been saying, I wish somebody would kidnap him and take him to the Hague and put him on trial. Let's see about that, world. Okay. Washington increasingly resorts to violence to achieve what it can accomplish through economic and political intervention. Enough thefts go on because of the still dollar domination of the economy, although more and more nations are saying, fuck the dollar, and hell yeah, that's great. The U.S. has now amassed a huge armada, warships off Venezuela's coast, a blatant attempt at regime change. Well, perhaps we are at regime change now. And the seizure of the oil, which Bush and gang back in the build up to Iraq wouldn't honestly say, but it clearly was. And this one is too. And God damn it, we cannot burn any more fossil fuels. Aside from stealing it from the world, we cannot burn it. We must stop it, keep it in the ground. As veterans of U.S. wars, Veterans for Peace is 40 years old last year, 41 now. And Baltimore Veterans for Peace was founded in '02, or over 20 years old. Veterans of Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, I think they're all gone now, but we had World War II vets and Spanish-American War vets, Spanish Civil War vets, not as far back as 100 years now. Anyway, veterans of every era, and the in-between like me. I was 77 to 81. Right after Vietnam, seemingly at peace, but this nation has virtually never been at peace, y'all. It's always been an empire. It's always been assaulting other people and stealing other people's goods.
That's right. Right.
The empire will fall, and I wish you would hurry up. Anyway, another war based on lies that killed millions, just like Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam. We see through the familiar justifications, just as the weapons of mass destruction narrative led to the horrors in Iraq that continue today. It is a destroyed state. Today's war on drugs, quote, quote, the rationale rings exceedingly hollow, especially after Trump's recent pardon of a major drug trafficker. Please. A war on Venezuela is patently illegal. The UN Charter declares no country has the right to intervene overtly or covertly in the internal affairs of another nation, but the US does it all the time. Often semi-quietly, sometimes blatantly, like now. Veterans for Peace demands that the U.S. government withdraw its military forces from the Caribbean and abandon its campaign of regime change and war against Venezuela. We call on all U.S. military personnel to fulfill their legal and moral obligation to refuse unlawful orders to participate in illegal wars or war crimes. Which I would argue everything the military does is illegal war crimes. But this is blatant. This is blatant, and we will support you when you take such a moral and courageous stance. Veterans for Peace and lots of others will support you, soldiers. It's time to say no. The other thing, I'll get back to the war for oil. You see this bumper sticker? I've got many small stickers too. If people want them, come get them from me. This is yet another war for worldwide resources. And as I said, especially we have to stop burning fossil fuels. It's totally illegal, it's theft, it's wrong, and it's stupid and deadly. We have to stop it for all those reasons, and thank you so much for coming out today.
No blood for oil!
No blood for oil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
No blood for oil!
No blood for oil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
No blood for oil!
No blood for oil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
No blood for oil!
No blood for oil!
Hands off Venezuela soil!
Venezuela soil!
Let me hear you!
Thank you, Ellen, for speaking on the importance of being against this war, against all war, not only to be against the blatant murder of people around the world, but also to stand for a safe, livable planet. There is no bigger polluter in the world than the U.S. military. Up next, we have a speaker from an organization who always reminds us that we are not outnumbered, but we are out-organized for now. From the All African People's Revolutionary Party, please welcome up Presence.
Peace. What's up, y'all? My name is Presence. I'm a member of the All African People Revolutionary Party, and we stand for Pan-Africanism, the total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism. The All African People's Revolutionary Party and the African Party of the Independence of Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, and Cape Verde condemn in the strongest terms the most recent bombing attacks by the imperialist U.S. government against the people of Venezuela and the Bolivarian Revolution.
Right.
At this moment, according to Delcy Rodriguez, Vice President of Venezuela, we do not know the whereabouts or conditions of President Maduro. If Maduro and his First Lady, Cecilia Flores, and his wife are in the hands of U.S., it is an act of state terrorism that must be condemned as an illegal kidnapping and of a democratically elected head of state.
That's right. That's right.
The U.S. President Donald Trump has declared that we're going to run Venezuela until a total overthrow of the government can be orchestrated. These actions are a gross violation of international law, and are an attack against all peace and justice loving people throughout the world.
Right. Right.
This attack is a sign of the ever-increasing attempts by the U.S. government to prevent the forward progress of humanity towards socialism, peace, and justice for all.
Right.
These are all futile attempts because nothing can stop what is inevitable, i.e., the ending of imperialist domination and the liberation of humanity from the clutches of imperialism. This crime is being conducted on behalf of a small group of billionaires, corporations, and others who own and control the means of production and comprise the capitalist class who are attempting to seize Venezuela's oil and vast rare earth mineral reserves. Venezuela has the absolute right to own and control its natural resources and to defend its territorial integrity and sovereignty. The world has a moral obligation to support these rights. So we are calling for all freedom-loving people to resist this most recent aggression by the U.S. by getting involved, as we see, in any and all protests where you live, and continue to monitor the activities taking place in the Caucasus, Venezuela, as well as other places around the world that are under imperialist aggression.
Right.
We have witnessed in the last few weeks carried out in Africa, Asia, and South America by these imperialists, and this necessitates an immediate and coordinated global response by the masses of the people. We demand an end to this imperialist aggression in Venezuela. We demand an immediate halt to all U.S. aggression in Venezuela through its military attacks. We demand the immediate lifting of all illegal sanctions, blockades, and other forms of imperialist aggression. We demand accountability for the attack that resulted in the deaths of over 100 people off the coast of Venezuela and Colombia in these most recent attacks. We call for the establishment of a zone of peace in the Americas and the removal of U.S./NATO military forces from the global south. Neither U.S. attempts to claim the oil of Venezuela nor Spurious claims of narco-terrorism cannot stand as the reason for war in Venezuela. We urge all workers, students, trade unions, youth movements, revolutionary parties, and religious organizations throughout the world to come together with Venezuela and other forces globally to coordinate our struggle against imperialism. Hands off Venezuela, death to U.S. and global imperialism in the Americas and around the world. The people united can never be defeated. Thank you.
Not another penny, not another dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Not another penny, not another dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Not another penny, not another dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter.
again, please, from the hall. Our next speaker will continue to highlight the importance of us from inside the belly of the beast, from inside U.S. imperialism, of speaking against the endless wars of the United States. From the greater Baltimore Democratic Socialists of America, please welcome up Za.
Hello, my name is Za. I'm from the Greater Baltimore DSA, and yeah, I'm going to be the one that's speaking today. All right, so the Greater Baltimore DSA condemns the U.S. empire for this cowardly invasion of a sovereign foreign country while committing war crimes against the Venezuelan people by bombing civilians and kidnapping Venezuela's leader, President Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, the First Lady, Celia. The U.S. military has bombed innocent working fishermen in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean under the false claims of drug smuggling. For too long, the U.S. empire has used flimsy pretenses, militarization, exploitation, and fear to dominate not only working class Americans, but the entire world. This is to maintain their own national interests, not in the interests of the working people. This latest act of imperialist aggression by the U.S. empire is motivated by a capitalist greed to steal fossil fuel resources that rightfully belong to the Venezuelan people in order to privatize for U.S. oil corporate interests who want to expand their influence throughout South America. While aiming to increase capital accumulation to build upon their stranglehold of American politics. This is a part of U.S. foreign policy decades operation to destabilize and maintain influence within South American countries through CIA-sponsored regime change coups that have been happening for long of decades.
Right.
We've seen this throughout our lifetimes. During the war on terror, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, and other African countries, most notably the Congo, have suffered U.S. imperialist invasions.
Right.
And neocolonialism, while the U.S. government has continued to strip us of our personal freedoms. All right. Last year, our community members throughout the country. Sorry about that. Yes. Last year, our community members throughout the country have been assaulted and kidnapped by Trump's secret police, ICE agents, and have sent the military to occupy our cities.
Shame.
They continue these endless wars for profit and funding bloated police budgets while getting our rights and gatekeeping healthcare, food, education, housing, and from working class people. This long militarized buildup has led us to this point of fascism, authoritarianism, all while subjecting us to austerity policies that has been bipartisan. Mainstream liberalism, which for decades has triangulated rhetoric and propped up this machine of endless war and oppression, is just as culpable as anything MAGA. We need to build a truly anti-war political machine now. We must connect with our families, friends, and neighbors, find our courage, our community, reach out, and join any of these groups that are all fighting for a better world. We also call for trade unions and all human rights organizations to stand with the Venezuelan people now, more than ever. Hold on one second.
You got it.
Yeah, oops. All right. Yeah. The Greater Baltimore DSA defends Venezuela's sovereignty against accusations of narco-terrorism and corruption by the U.S. empire to justify regime change.
Right.
We call on the people of the U.S. who actually believe in democracy to fight this fascist regime and bring every politician, soldier, and collaborator involved in these violations of international law, human rights, and the sovereignty of the Bolivarian Republic and Venezuela to justice.
Right.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
If we don't get it.
Shut it down.
If we don't get it.
Shut it down.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Za. Our next speaker, we have just a couple more before we begin marching. We will be moving. Our next speaker is from an organization, a part of an organization that knows and understands the centrality that the Caribbean, that the Americas play in U.S. empire. So from the Black Alliance for Peace Haiti Americas team, please welcome up Milan.
All right, peace, y'all. So like it was said, my name is Milan. I'm from the Black Alliance for Peace, Haiti's Americas team. So I will be reading a statement called "The Black Alliance for Peace condemns U.S. intervention in Venezuela and stands with the Venezuelan people in their resistance to U.S. imperialist war." The Black Alliance for Peace strongly condemns the international lawlessness of the neo-fascist U.S., the violent aggression and blatant attacks from the people-centered human rights of Venezuelans, and violations of Venezuela's sovereignty. The U.S. bombed dozens of sites throughout Venezuela in the early mornings of Saturday, January 3rd, under the cover of darkness to accelerate their war against Venezuela and sow terror in the country, killing civilians and destroying key infrastructure in the process. The rogue empire has also kidnapped Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores, and is allegedly taking them to New York to prosecute them in U.S. courts. This cowardly and blatantly illegal act reminds us all of the kidnapping of John Bertrand Aristide from Haiti in 2004. A move that kicked off the ongoing U.S.-led occupation of Haiti, as well as the U.S. invasion of Panama in 1989. In his press conference detailing the operation, U.S. President Trump claims that the U.S. will quote-unquote run the Venezuelan government to ensure a transition, and is prepared to continue attacking the country again. Yet we know that the U.S. is not running Venezuela at the moment, and this is part of the U.S.'s psychological war, and will not be accepted by the people of Venezuela. In the face of these attacks, the working class, revolutionary people, and popular movements of Venezuela have taken to the streets in support of the Bolivarian Revolution. Outside of Venezuela, anti-imperialist, anti-war, and pro-peace movements and organizations must continue to defend and stand alongside the brave people of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. We unite with the communique shared by the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, which detailed that the objective of this attack is none other than to seize Venezuela's strategic resources, particularly its oil and minerals, attempting to break the nation's political independence by force. They will not succeed. After more than 200 years of independence, the people and their legitimate government remain firm in defense of sovereignty and the inalienable right to decide their own destiny. The attempt to impose a colonial war to destroy the Republican form of government and force a regime change in alliance with the fascist oligarchy will fail, as have all previous attempts. We must understand that this is not a singular moment, but a continuation of the decades-long war on the Bolivarian Revolution to destroy Venezuela's sovereignty. This imperialist intervention has been made possible because of the complete abdication of any semblance of international law after over 2 years of genocide in Gaza. The development of methods of imperialist intervention tested on nations like Haiti that have long violated the Declaration of the Americas as a zone of peace. The acquiescence of regional governments to the Americas to U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean and subversion throughout the hemisphere. The ongoing colonial occupation of Puerto Rico and the bipartisan intensification of repression domestically throughout the United States. For those in North America, we echo the calls to mobilize and coordinate resistance against this violence and subversion from within the empire. We must take to the streets, and mobilizations are taking place throughout the United States in support of the Venezuelan people. For those outside the U.S., Venezuelan movements and organizations are asking for mobilizations outside of U.S. embassies and diplomatic installations around the world. As we mobilize, we remind everyone of publicly available resources to support education, mobilization, and resistance with Hands Off Venezuela Linktree that the Black Alliance for Peace has, as well as Black Alliance for Peace website. Beyond mobilization in the coming days, however, opposing U.S. imperialism requires organized resistance beyond this moment. That's right. To do this and to struggle to construct a zone of peace in our Americas, we encourage all progressive, radical and anti-imperialist forces to join the Zone of Peace campaign, and the U.S. NATO out of our Americas network. Defend Venezuela's sovereignty, make our Americas a zone of peace, and no compromise, no retreat. Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and occupation.
Not for war and occupation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and occupation.
Not for war and occupation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and occupation.
War and occupation.
Make some noise for Milan. We have two more speakers. A good problem that we have so many people that want to speak on this, because every one of us here can see through the lies, knows what we actually need, and knows that this war is not going to serve us. Our next speaker from the CPUSA Baltimore Club, please welcome up Brant.
Thanks for being out here, everybody. I'm just going to read a quick statement by Joe Sims, and we'll go from there. Kidnapping and an act of war. That's the only way to describe the attack on Venezuela and President Nicolas Maduro's removal by U.S. military forces. It's unjust, illegal, and it's yet another act of state terror against not only Venezuela, but any country that refuses to submit to the Trump doctrine. All of this comes from an administration that not only sees itself as above the law, but has been granted carte blanche or immunity from prosecution by the fascist-minded justices of the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's be clear, the bombings and special forces operations, like the oil tanker seizures before them, have nothing to do with alleged drug trafficking, but everything to do with the vast oil reserves that lie beneath Venezuela's soil. And make no mistake, the oil corporations of the U.S. and other imperialist countries aim to seize that too. Yesterday was Nigeria, today it's Venezuela, and if we're not careful, tomorrow it'll be Cuba or Brazil. Trump's criminality will be rightly condemned, not only in the U.S., but all around the world. But at the end of the day, the path toward justice rests with us. And the first step is mass public protest. It's time again to demonstrate, sit in, occupy, and put on our marching shoes. It's also time to get ready to vote. Trump and MAGA are growing weaker by the day. The administration, riven by splits and defections, has entered lame duck territory, which makes it all the more dangerous. But don't despair. There's a way towards justice. They might temporarily jail the Maduros, but you can't jail the Venezuelan revolution. Nor can our right to put the U.S. on a different path be blocked. Call Congress, hit the streets, protest in every way possible. Today, tomorrow, until justice is done. Free the Maduros, end the U.S. intervention in Venezuela, impeach Donald Trump and his enablers now.
No boots in the ground, no bombs in the air.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
U.S. out of everywhere.
U.S. out of everywhere.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air.
U.S. out of everywhere.
U.S. out of everywhere.
No boots on the ground, no bombs
last speaker before we begin moving is going to speak to the importance of the struggle not only against aggression on Venezuela, but also against the continued U.S. aggression in the Philippines. Please welcome from the Malaya, Baltimore, Adrian.
Hello. My name is Adrian from Malaya, Baltimore, an organization championing human rights, democracy, and sovereignty in the Philippines. The Philippines and Venezuela are targets of the dying U.S. empire. As numerous bombs were dropped onto the capital of Caracas, I think of the armed forces of the Philippines and the bombings that they have conducted in the countryside of the Philippines, where revolutionaries seek to help the poor. Shame! The Philippines have been fighting U.S. imperialists for more than a century. The U.S. has spent billions and billions of their tax dollars in stamping out those that threaten the U.S. empire. The Philippine government has made it their policy to target, kidnap, detain, and even assassinate those that threaten that empire. This includes student activists, journalists, labor leaders, human rights advocates, and land defenders. And they do this with weapons, technology, billions and billions of dollars in fighter jets, and infrastructure supplied to them by the United States government. And so I just say we stand in solidarity with Venezuelans whose independence is being undermined and their natural resources to be plundered by heartless corporations. The Philippine people will fight side by side with you. And so I say, from Venezuela to the Philippines! From Venezuela to the Philippines! Stop the U.S. war machine! Stop the U.S. war machine! From Venezuela to the Philippines! From Venezuela to the Philippines! Stop the U.S. war machine! Stop the U.S. war machine! From Venezuela to the Philippines! From Venezuela to the Philippines! Stop the U.S. war machine! Stop the U.S. war machine! Thank you.
That's a perfect place for us to end our rally at, because we know that the struggle against aggression on Venezuela is the struggle against aggression in the Philippines. It's the same as the struggle for the Congo, for the Sudan, for Palestine, for us right here in Baltimore. That is all one struggle. So before we begin marching, there are just a couple pieces of guidance for us. We know that the struggle is ours too. That means that we need to be loud, that we need everyone in the city, everyone downtown to hear us when we're chanting. Will we hear you, Baltimore? And we stick together. Our power is in our unity, so we stick together, bring people together in this march, speak to people, speak to the person next to you, and let's begin moving. Thank you.
Not a penny, not a dollar. Not a penny, not a dollar. Not a penny, not a dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Not a penny, not a dollar.
united, we'll never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated.
Fund people's needs,
Fund people's needs,
not the war machine.
not the war machine.
Fund people's needs,
Fund people's needs,
not the war machine.
not the war machine.
Fund people's needs,
Fund people's needs,
not the war machine.
not the war machine.
I said fund people's needs,
Fund people's needs,
not the war machine.
not the war machine.
USA, CIA,
USA, CIA,
out of Venezuela now.
out of Venezuela now.
USA, CIA,
USA, CIA,
out of Venezuela now.
out of Venezuela now.
USA, CIA,
USA, CIA,
out of Venezuela now.
out of Venezuela now.
USA, CIA,
USA, CIA,
out of Venezuela now.
out of Venezuela now.
No a la guerra contra Venezuela. 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 Hands off 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 Venezuela. The boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. US out of everywhere. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. US out of everywhere. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. US out of everywhere. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. US out of everywhere. US out of everywhere. Not a penny, not a dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Not a penny, not a dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Not a penny, not a dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Not a penny, not a dollar. We won't pay for war and slaughter. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Trump, you're a liar. No more wars for empire. Hey Trump, you're a liar. No more wars for empire. Hey Trump, you're a liar. No more wars for empire. Hey Trump, you're a liar. No more wars for empire. The people united will never be defeated.